All right. Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for coming in today. We got head coach Marc Rardin for our local media day press conference. Coach will open up with a statement, and then we'll do questions.
I guess, it's my second year, me and my staff here. But I always, Todd Stewart, our athletic director, says it's really your first year. He counted last year for me as year zero, just kind of get started, get the foundation going. So I actually reminded him of that earlier today. But it's been a great fall and start to a spring. With me saying that, it really is kudos to my assistants, my staff for the recruiting and going out and getting the size of roster that we went out and found for ourselves. We were finding the right people who made the players is what we felt. And so far, we've felt really good about that with what's going on with our roster.
Kind of touch on that, building the foundation. What did that encompass in the first year?
This is, as a head coach, this is my 22nd year as a head coach, and I've just, I've been known as a culture guy, and you win with people in life, and we have to have talented players, but it doesn't matter if they're not talented people. And if they're not the right person, it's hard to succeed, and it's hard to succeed here. And just expectations. Our standard is the standard, and I don't veer from that. That's where I have started years ago, and that's what I believe in. And I guess that's part of why, a year and a half ago, why I took the job, was I felt like I could be the right person to come in here and change, I guess, what needed to be changed. And knowing from the first steps we ever took here in progress was just how we rolled out of bed, not how we rolled out onto the field. And that's big for us.
Talk about, the portal and bringing in these players and stuff. How do you navigate the portal? Like, what are some things that you're like, okay, this is, these type of players that I want, or this is what I'm looking for? How do you go about all of that?
Oh, yeah, without a doubt. I mean, the portal is here for a while. I don't know if it's here to stay, but it's going to be here for a while. And we're not going out there and buying players. We don't have the NIL to do that right now, per se. So it's still, recruiting's a process of elimination. And what you're doing is there is a large pool out there, and you're going out and you're trying to find, the talent can get your attention real quick, but then it quickly goes to the student and his grades, and then you're trying to build a relationship really quick. And your connections through the coaching trees, and that's where Coach Fournier and I come in really big, with just how many years we've done this and knowing everybody across the country. You can do some quick homework on kids, and there's just different reasons why kids are in the portal. And some of them are understandable, some of them are red flags, and you just have to decipher that. And some of it in this business, whatever sport at this level and higher, is sometimes how much you want to sell yourself for the ability. It started years ago with me, but I quickly was learning that there's 24 hours in a day, and there's only 3 hours out on the field. So you got to worry about the 21 other hours as well. And that's a never-ending thing that you're dealing with every individual and the group as a whole. So when you're in the portal and you're looking for your need, you can't lose your discipline of who you are as a program and how that kid fits. So maybe they're not the overall best that you really wanted, or that was out there, but yet they still fit you in so many other ways as well. They're good, but they're even better off the field. And, that goes a long ways.
Coach, with it being your second season here at Western, and you're kind of new to the conference still, but the conference is still changing with a bunch of new teams added to it. Can you kind of speak to that?
Yeah, as I'm learning a lot the first year, and then now I got to, figure it out again, right? With different programs, different styles they play, but everybody's doing that in this conference. So I think the game is still the game, with who you have on the mound and who you have in the bullpen at the end, and then what type of ball you're going to play. Are you waiting around for 3-run home runs every single game? Are you able to move the ball, bunt them over, hit and run, steal bases? I mean, for us still, I think we just try to be versatile in everything that we do, whether we're able to sit there and hit the ball out of the yard that day, and that's what the game tells us we can do, then we don't need to run ourselves out of innings. Then there's other days where you need to bunt some guys over, you need to hit and run, and you need to get a couple of those 2-out hits that are going to give you a chance to win the game. So various ways to do it. I don't really veer off from what I believe to where we need to be versatile enough to, the game will tell us that day, and a lot of times the guy on the mound for the other team will tell you. And a couple weeks ago, I was doing an interview with Randy Lee, and I kind of teased him then. I didn't even know you were in the room. That just happened. But I kind of teased him that the smartest thing I heard him say in like the last year and a half was, with Conference USA and the baseball, it is near the top, if not the top, of when you're talking about competitiveness across the board. From top to bottom. I mean, baseball is just a dogfight, I think just baseball is that way on any given day, and a couple errors and a couple walks, and all of a sudden you're losing, and it changes that game and it changes the weekend. So the league is exciting. I think the league is improving, and for what I would call your upper tier mid-major level, it's really good baseball.
That being said, too, you guys, I think, came in last year preseason 9th, far exceeded those expectations at 4th. How did you guys manage to do that?
Yeah, I like when you say 9th, you mean last. You're giving it a number. I just say it was last. From day one last year, I think this is one of the challenges that this team has this year, and we actually just talked about it the other day a little bit. But last year, every team that we were playing was playing this, and this was who we were in the past, and we were teaching them that that's not who we were. That's not who we were going to be. Yeah, we're wearing the same uniform, but the people that are in it are different. The way we're going to go about stuff, our standard, our expectations, our fight was going to be different, and that's what it started with, and for me, I come from the north, right, and we were a very successful junior college up in the north, and to compete nationally like how we did for World Series and championships, you had to have an edge of you're the northern team, but that's not who we are, is just that typical northern team. And I think that's a mindset. Again, that's the person you go and recruit, but the people that are going to trust you and trust what you're doing and how you're going to do it, and them being on board with it. And I think that's just really what we did. And of course, like anything, if you want more fans, win. If you want more kids on your roster to believe, win. Some of that goes into effect with competition, with athletics.
Still, with that success, you guys still had quite a bit of turnover.
Yep.
Last year in this. Is that just the norm?
No, that is not the norm. No. That was the first thing I wanted my administration to know for me, that I'm not going to be that program, because there are programs in today's world in any sport, much less I'm speaking baseball, that will flip it over 25 at a time, or 30 at a time. And it's just the norm because of what we have built with NCAA, with the portal, and just what's allowed via student athlete or coaches. You know, mine was, you know, where we were looking to go and to continue. You know, they kind of got they were playing with the cards that were dealt to them, and that was me, and so was I. And everything was great, but with that being said, I have visions for this place. I have expectations and visions and a certain way that I want to do things. And with that being said, when you're talking about where we were last year and where we are now and where we're going, we have more pitching. We have way more. We have more quality pitching. We have more quality depth with the pitching. We have way more athleticism across the board. And with that athleticism, we have way better defense. And then with that athleticism on the offensive side, between what we're doing with driving the ball, but being able to run, being able to put pressure on teams, we've just increased so much. And then when you talk about the culture of who we went out and got, and them being part of something bigger than all of us, that's, you know, that's what I did. So with my decision and kind of how it played out, I honestly couldn't be more pleased. Coach Fournier, it was an unbelievable task for him and Coach Napoleon, my pitching coach, to go out and find whatever it was, 30 kids, 32 kids, whatever it was. But that's what we did, and that's what we needed at that moment, and that's not what we need next year, and that's not what I want to do every year. It's going to happen. I mean, I'm not going to please everybody. I mean, whether it's a player, parents, you know, whatever. And so with that being said, if you're not pleased, what do you know, nowadays, what do? You go to the portal. And so even this year, I mean, in today's world, I wouldn't be surprised if there's 5 kids at the end of the spring and says, hey, I'm out. I'm going to go in the portal, see what's out there, see something better. That's just who we are now, right? And it could maybe be, I might be way off. Even starting today, I might have more than that already thinking about it, or I could have way less. I could have 2. I don't know. But this is the world we're living in. But to circle back up and make it clear, no, that is not something that I am looking or wanting to do every year. That's not what I'm going to do.
Brought up the pitching. I know that's been a big point of emphasis for you, heading from last season to this season. You know, to have, you know, for the first time ever, not even just 1 but 3 pitchers on the preseason all-conference team for pitching. You know, what does that mean to you, and how does it speak to you as you go out, as you were looking to gain more quality pitching?
I mean, first and foremost, I think it starts with my first hire. When I took the job, 10 minutes later, I called Coach Napoleon, my pitching coach at Iowa Western, had already been with me for 3 years. And I just, are you in? And he said, yep. And then he went home and told Bethany, his wife, that they were moving to Western Kentucky with us. But that, you know, that's the guy that's the head coach of the pitchers. And he's my right hand. He's one of the best in the country. He had offers this last summer already, and he believes in what we're doing and how we're doing it. And him and Bethany and their girls, their daughters, are happy to be here. So we're fortunate to still have him. But the everyday work that he has with them, we are really still, especially being where we are, mid-major, WKU, I mean, we still are developmental. We are not going out and buying players and just laying our cards out there, and it's our guys versus your guys. Like, we have to develop some kids. It's just like answering Cole's question earlier about just the portal and managing it and things. I mean, you know, we got to get the right kid that still wants to be developed, not just given a ball and let's hope for the best. I mean, we are in the developmental business, the person, the student, and the athlete. And so we got to find those kids. And again, you know, Knapp and Fournier went out and found those kids. They're talented kids, but the character of wanting to be better, to listen, to be challenged, to being comfortable with uncomfortable, and getting better. And that's, really that's what we did. And we found some of those fifth-year guys that just wanted to be part of something. And, we're not stockpiling talent here. We just don't have it sitting on the shelves everywhere. We don't have 40 of just the best, that's not what it is. And the exciting part with that is that the kids that we're getting, they know that they're going to be part of something. Do you want to be part of the status quo, or do you want to be part of something that's growing? And if you're doing your job right, and again, process of elimination and recruiting and finding the right kids, they're wanting to be part of something, not just being it, but being part of something. And that's what we're doing right now. Is we feel like our better is still coming, right? Just first year was first year. And I tell people the same thing, 33 wins last year, first time in I don't know how many years, since 2011 that, the winning record and all that stuff. But that doesn't mean we win 33 this year. I mean, it's baseball. You don't know. The biggest thing out of that is just experience. If you look at the roster, we just don't have a ton of guys with Division I experience, especially position player-wise. So to go through your season of trials and tribulations, and last year, we ran that gauntlet, and everybody was like those 9 or 10 games of the midweeks we had with, of course, like Vanderbilt and Kentucky and Louisville. Well, we got Louisville home and home this year midweek, and we're playing Vanderbilt and we're playing Kentucky, and then we got DBU in there. You're going to have that every year. With where we're at and the competition that we get a chance to play midweek that these kids want to play, and then you're also talking about the Conference USA during the weekend. I mean, it's tough, and I think there's just going to be that gauntlet every year. It's baseball, and it's just where we're at. But with that being said, the pitching and the depth of our pitching and what we've developed and what we're still allowing our kids to develop. When this season starts, we got still kind of 5 weeks of warm-up. We're trying to win every game, but with that being said, we have opportunities to pitch and to play different guys. Not complete lineups, not totally shifting the rotation or anything like that, but guys can come out of the bullpen and get opportunities. And I don't think you're doing your job and letting iron sharpen iron and develop younger guys for later on during the year or in the years to come if you're not giving opportunities. You can watch a lot of Division I baseball, and it gets caught where they're going to play the same 9 or 10 guys in the lineup, and they're pitching the same 6 or 7 guys, and that's it. That's all you're going to get. And I don't think we're doing what we need to do for WKU and building our future, and we're not doing what we need to do when there's an injury, when someone's just struggling and needs a break, and then all of a sudden you haven't prepared somebody at all, and now you're expecting something out of them. Like that's my fault then, if I haven't been doing that. So I think that's another reason why we're going to get some kids here, is because they know that they're going to get the opportunity.
It's a year in now, too. I kind of wonder if your initial vision for this program has changed at all. If so, or if not, kind of walk me through where you see it going. How far you think?
Can't paint myself in a corner now. Talking about where this place can go, I really talk to people about that I do have feelings, I do have a vision. I try to talk about it a lot. I try to get people to hear me, try to get them to see it, and what I talk about, I get them to feel it. Like when you're around our kids this year, like you can feel it out at the field, like who they are, the connection they have, the selflessness and energy that they give. You can feel it, and I'm wanting like community to see that and to feel it. And I think there comes a point where we are who we are, and so what I mean by that is we're already starting to do things that haven't been done here. Right, when we won 5 conference weekends last year or something, and we won is it 4 in a row, and that'd never been done, or
4 in a row.
yeah,
5 in a row.
yeah, okay. I can't I forget. So, but we're already starting to do things that hasn't been done here for a while or just never been done. That's great. But where we're trying to go is I want more excitement. I want more people to be, I just think college baseball is such the great sport that you can bring your wife and your kids and come watch a game. And I know it's that 2.5-hour game, 2-hour, 45-minute game, but you can sit there and talk and have a conversation and hang out with people and be engaged and encourage a program while you're getting some enjoyment out of it yourself. And I just, it's just, that's what I love about it. And that's what I love about a community that I've heard so much about loves baseball. And, there has been a lot of pride in WKU baseball, and it's been 500 for a lot of years, and even had some lackluster to that at times. But all I've gotten out of alums is just the pride, which is awesome. You can still have pride in, it doesn't matter what it is. So I want to take that. And again, taking this program when I did, because I knew the facility was coming. And I know the location we were in, and that's why I had to hire Coach Fournier as my recruiting guy, because he's already been recruiting in this area for 26 years. And, we've hit the ground running and changing things up. Going back to being player development guys, I think, again, this place has to be a developmental place where you take some talent, but you have to develop it for the next level of competition here. And I thought we were the right fit for that. I don't think that you can be just a premier Division I power, 4 now, assistant coach and come to a place like this where there's more budget restrictions and facilities not there yet, or you don't have the backing necessarily, and a lot of those people couldn't handle it, or understand it. And where I came from and my pedigree, and then getting here and working with what we have, it's not that bad. It's really doable. I don't see us going to a College World Series anytime soon, but you don't know if Stony Brook back in the day was thinking that when they went to the College World Series in Omaha, or Oral Roberts last year, that's the thing about baseball. I had a player when Coastal Carolina went their only time and won it. I had a former player of mine who won a national championship with me, was catching for them, when they won it at Coastal Carolina. So that's a beautiful thing with baseball. My goal right now, as we're getting this all done here in the next 2 years with facilities and things going up right now with the video scoreboard and a bunch of great stuff. Really, one of my first goals for the program is get to the championship game of Conference USA. I just think that would be a great goal for this place to get us really going. If we finish in the top 4 again, and basically just our second year here, but like Todd Stewart told me, my first year now, and being in the top 4 again, I think we really got something rolling if we're doing that. So I'm not a big goal guy that we talk about. We just try to be better today. But for me personally, I want more people to be engaged. I don't think we pack that place. Nick Dennis, I don't think we pack it or anything like that, but I think it's a venue to where we're going to put a product on the field that on a Saturday evening, hey, grab the kids and let's go out to the ballpark, and it's not that expensive, and we can watch some good baseball and watch kids have fun and have positive energy and play hard. I think, I've heard from a lot of fans and around here with like basketball in the past, right? They didn't always play hard. Nobody wants to see that, right? Now they're more engaged and liking it more. I think I did the same thing a year ago, where all I heard was in the past that they could get down by 3 or 4 and it became a morgue in the park, and they just kind of waited till the game was over. We never did that last year. Like, we were going to fight. We're going to do the same thing this year and the year after that. It's just continuing to better our pitching and better our athleticism and strengthen our roster as we do it.
You kind of mentioned able to finish in the Final Four of the conference last year. What was the community reaction to you, or did anybody thank you, or how have you seen it grow? So
No, I mean, I've gotten people coming up to me all the time. People have noticed, they've noticed, and my wife and I have been grateful for people to come up to us. I know there was a time in the fall, my son and I went to a place for lunch to eat, and he and I were just trying to eat and just have a conversation. We had 2 or 3 different gentlemen throughout the time recognize me and come up and say something, and that's awesome. I love that. That doesn't bother me one bit. And my response usually is they're getting ready to leave. Then you got your season tickets for next year. Then you're coming to more games. Then, right? I try to put them back in the corner, because that's just what you want. You want those repeat customers, right? You want those repeat fans. You want more fans. You want them to tell more people and come out. And like I said, my expectations of filling up the party decks down the line or the bleachers, I don't really, I can't worry about that. I know that I can do my part, whether it's me out in public and being the face, being one of the faces of our program, or obviously the kids we recruit and what they do in the community, and then what they do on the field. I mean, that's how you're going to draw. That's just how you're going to draw fans, whether you're professional or you're in Conference USA. And so the community's been good. I want more, and I'm sure they want more from us, and expecting more this year. And we're going to try to do it.
Anything else? I think you mentioned the schedule earlier. I mean, you look at the schedule, like you said, you play Louis, you play Dan, you play all the teams. You kind of like stack the deck against yourself on that purpose, so you can play against some of that competition that's really good around here, or how do you
want to give your kids that opportunity, but it's also recruiting. Kids want to come somewhere where you're going to get a chance to play. Our preseason, the first couple weekends aren't always the toughest, right? This year it will be. We got 4 with West Virginia here, and their second baseman will be one of the top 5 picks in the first round, projected as much as maybe number 1 as a position player. But early on, we're just trying to get our feet wet and find our bearings. So being a little bit more of a southern school for some of those northern schools to come down to, we're taking advantage of that. But I think we always have to play the Louisvilles, and Louisville's doing home and home with us now, which is great for us, and we appreciate that. But in playing the Kentucky, I think those are just things that are musts that we have to stick with. I don't think we're actually playing Vanderbilt in 25. We don't have them in 25, but I also know in 26 we're going to Mississippi State to open up the season down there. So, I'm trying to, as we go, change some things up. I'm not a guy that likes the same thing every year either. I mean, I like to change it up. Some coaches just like it because it's easy status quo of this is what we do every year with our schedule, and I don't like to do that, especially when you got kids in your program for 3 years and 4 years. You want them to get some different experiences as well, and you like to play different styles of baseball as well, and to challenge yourself and get yourselves better.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you, guys.